Hey, what's up? It's Wes Clark.
Heaven Clark,
Welcome to Fairly Speaking once again.
the show that serves as the digital moderator as we surf the world of pop culture, entertainment, and trending topics and give you the best resolution that you're going to find on the internet.
All right, let's get started.
So LeBron James, dropped his new show, The Shop.
Yeah.
It premiered last night on HBO. Special guest on the show for his first show was Drake.
Right.
Now, the thing that happened that no one was expecting is Drake pretty much spilled his interpretation of what happened, spilled the tea on the entire Kanye West and Pusha T beef situation. It was a lot of things said, and Drake revealed a lot. And we're gonna take a look at a couple of things that he said. And we're gonna come back and give our opinion on it.
Something I did, yo, I love you, brother. Lift Yourself comes out with him just talking nonsense. I'm like, oh,
She really put that round now.
oh, this guy's trolling. This guy's trolling me. Yeah, oh, this was like a manipulative, like I want to break you thing. So I said, all right, I'm gonna go back to distancing myself again. I know what this is, and then the first album drops, and of course there's a diss song towards me that you produced. That's talking about writing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm writing for you.
I was just there with you as friends, helping you, and now you're dissing me. So I'm like, man, this is dark.
This is evil shit.
This is dark. It made me realize, and actually I text Braun after
You guys spoke about that.
it took me
about it.
4 days to really register what had happened. And I text Braun, I said, I hope I don't let you down with my decision. And that was something I was really concerned about.
With your
And
decision to do what, Drake?
to not do anything.
not do anything, to not
do
respond.
That's what you were worried about when you called me. Like, I'm not responding to that song. You were just like, I don't know how people feel about that.
Well, I was more concerned about, like, the people whose
But you
opinions
fuck
I
with.
respect, and the people who we thrive off competitive nature.
Of course.
But there was, people love to say, like, rap purists and people who just love confrontation, they love to say, hey, man, there's no rules in this shit, but there are fucking rules in this shit.
Of course.
And I'm going to tell you something. It's like, I knew something was going to come up about my kid. They had to add, like, the deadbeat thing to make it more appealing, which is fine. I understand that. And even that, I was like, okay. The mom and dad thing, whatever. You don't even know my family. It's like I'm going to tell you, wishing death on my friend that has MS. I study rap battles for a living. Now, when you mention defenseless people who are sick in the hospital that passed away, that really sent me to a place where, I just believed then and believe now that there's just a price that you have to pay for that. It's over. Someone's gonna fucking punch you in the fucking face. The shit's done, the event's over. I wanted to do other things. I didn't want to further your reputation or your career by rapping back at you and having this exchange. And that was it for me.
All right.
Now,
Yes.
I say, when the battle first happened, right? When Drake dropped, Pusher came out. What he was referring to, the song that dropped, and he heard dissing about writing. That was Infrared. Okay, he said the first album dropped. That was Pusha's album. So if for people who don't understand what he's talking about, is he basically went out to Wyoming. He basically told Kanye about his entire rollout. Kanye first said his album was coming out in October or November, what have you. Once Drake exposed his entire rollout to Kanye, Kanye then took Drake's rollout dates and rolled out his albums. Remember, he was doing...
Yeah, right. The album's under his label.
Right, he was doing the albums under his label. Pusha, Kid
Tiana
Cudi,
Taylor.
Tiana Taylor, and Nas.
Right.
Right, and his album. So...
His album hasn't come out yet.
Right, no, that album did come out.
Okay.
He's got a new album that hasn't dropped yet. He's dropping another album,
he's dropping
some more
it.
garbage.
Right.
But this was the Ye album.
Okay.
So he put Ye out apparently on around Drake's rollout dates, and the first song after Drake had been out there helping him write was Infrared, and that was a song dissing Drake, Pusha T, dissing Drake and talking about Quentin Miller. You know, it was written by Quentin Miller and such. So I know when this whole beef thing went down, we talked about it numerous times. When Pusha, after Drake dropped Duppy Freestyle, Pusha dropped the story of Adion, and we said at the time we were saying Drake has to respond, and even with the whole Jay Prince when he came on and said he's shutting it down, we still said Drake should respond, or else he's taking the L.
Yeah. All
right. Now that you hear Drake's explanation, and as funny as it seems, I love to I got to give people props. This is exactly what Joe Budden said happened a month ago.
Yeah, big up. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Joe Budden.
Shout out to Joe Budden.
Go check out his podcast. Is dope, and we give him mad props.
On Joe Budden podcast.
Yep.
2 months ago. This is almost exactly what he said happened.
Yeah. I don't know if he had an insight or if he just knows this business. Now, Joe Budden's been in this business quite a while, so he knows the business and he knows how these fuck niggas think too. Yep. Unfortunately, he knows how bad this business is too. He knows how how easy it is to screw somebody over in this business. So I'm sure whether he figured it out for himself or if he had an insight.
Which I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He said he figured it out for himself. He said he has no insight to this. He thought that this is strictly judging on the lyrics of Scorpion and what have you. Yeah. All right. So now that you hear Drake's explanation, and I'm be honest with you, I know Kanye came out and said he never told Pusha. I'm sorry. I believe Drake. Yeah. I believe Drake's story. Because it adds up more than Kanye's.
It makes more sense, you know what I mean? Because if this is something that he didn't have nobody knowing, and then we knew from the beginning, even before this story, that him and Kanye, were cool at one point. They were close enough for Drake to, for Kanye to know stuff about him, just like for Drake to know stuff about him. Mm-hmm. So, by the way, that show is on HBO. Go check it out, The Shop. LeBron James show. It's way more to this interview than what's going on there. But he talks about like what you were saying when he actually went out to Wyoming to hang with Kanye and work with him for nothing. He didn't charge him or whatever because it's on the strength, whatever. So all of that whole story, it adds up and it makes sense. But to answer your question, I personally feel that he still should have responded. Maybe not with the track that he had set up that, everybody that what's his face, what's his name?
Jay Prince.
Jay Prince. Shout out to the OG Jay Prince. I mean, maybe not that track, but I don't know. I think maybe he should have, but I get why he didn't. Right. Because he's thinking more of a brand. See, it all depends on what you're thinking about. Exactly. If you're thinking about the culture, then you're going to respond no matter what. See, LL would have responded no matter what. Right. Because LL, even though he was always a brand, but LL felt like you ain't never big enough to smash my brand. So I'm going to respond. No matter how small you are or no matter how big you are, I'm going to respond. So when LL has went at the smallest of the small, when you talk about cannabis, I hate to say it, I don't care how good he's lyrically, he's nobody on the radar of LL Cool J. And LL, has went at other people bigger than that. Right. So LL would have responded. He would have responded. I don't know if he would have responded with something so crushing like what Drake is, and what other people, not just Drake, other people, Jay Prince and all those people said that, that he was really exposing pretty much everybody, not just Kanye, a lot of people that may not even have had nothing to do with it. Or maybe, because now he's at that point where everybody can get it because who knows who betrayed him at this point. Right. So he probably just going at it up.
He probably going at a lot
I don't know
if
he responded with that, but you should have, in my opinion, I think the true people would have still thought of the culture. And like I said, I get it. I get why you didn't respond, because he said, I'm not gonna let you build your career going back and forth.
Because that's what would have happened. If Drake, let's just say he responded. All right, let's say he didn't respond with him. But you have to also think from this point of view. I do get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I would have liked for him to respond too. But that response that he had after, like he said, if you watch the entire interview, he'll say he did research, he came up with this and that. Yeah. That was probably, at that point, the only response that may have won him that battle. Right. So if he didn't respond with that, and respond with something else, it may have been garbage.
Right.
You know? People would be like, nah, it's not as good as,
So you might as well just, I get why. If you're not gonna smash him, right, you might as well just not say nothing. And take the L. I mean, we talked about this before with Jay-Z and Nas. You know what I mean? With there's still a lot of people that defend Jay-Z, but for the most part, the masses agree that Ether won the battle,
and that Super Ugly was no comeback.
Was no
His
real
own
comeback.
Mother told him that he shouldn't have put that record out.
Right. He did one of those situations where I mean, I'm not, because that's not on the same level as what Pusha did with the the guy dying and all that stuff. Right. But I'm just saying it was just a low blow that and I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what his mother. This is what Jay-Z's mother said. I personally said, I still think no holds barred. Right. Let it go, because that's something. Because he, in all fairness, not to be on that battle, because we got a show on the breakdown. Talk about takeover. So not to be on that battle, but what I mean is he gave fair warning in the takeover.
Right.
That that I know what you do know what you know who. Okay, that's fine. And then he just. Nas just hit him with the left hook before he got a chance to come with that combo.
To do it.
But anyway, back to this battle. I thought the song overall, was a good move. I thought he followed the rules of, in my opinion, he followed the rules of engagement. You know what I'm saying? He came with his hardest bullets first. Right. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, I know he said he's got more layers or whatever, but that could have just been propaganda. Yeah, I think pretty much that was the death blow for him right there.
To make him think.
Unless you talking more stuff that Kanye has fed him, and that Drake has confided in him, and then he took that and fed that. Now, as far as that goes, I still say that Drake, he took the L, and that's what it is. As you can see, it didn't really hurt him. So, his career. But yeah, as far as battle goes, there's no question Drake lost that battle. He had to take that L because he had to not respond. And now I understand why he didn't respond. Mm-hmm. I personally think that if it was someone else, like an LL, who also has a big fan base and a big brand, he would have still responded. That's what I think.
What about Drake saying that there are rules, and him pointing out that Pusha mentioned his sick friend and kind of wished death on his friend or what have you. He didn't really wish death, but he did say how much time he got left. What do you think about that? As far as do you say that's still off limits, no holds barred, because he mentioned Pusha? I mean, again, that goes back to that whole Cardi Nicki thing. He didn't insult Pusha T's fiance. A lot of people going to, he mentioned her name, right? And on top of that, no one even knew that was Pusha's fiance but Pusha. Right. Because when he first said the Virginia Williams line, nobody, unless you know Pusha T, you did not know. I saw several clips, and people were like, okay, what line? That line didn't really make sense. Who's Virginia Williams? Right. He just used it as kind of like wordplay or whatever. Yeah. I'll let it ring on you like Virginia Williams. Like, you put a ring on her. and I'm gonna put a ring on you if you keep saying my name. So people saying, well, it's off. Once he mentioned Pusha's fiance, then everything was off limits. I say the family thing, yes, and Drake even agreed.
Yeah,
he agreed with all the family stuff. However, he just believes everything has an unwritten rule. Baseball, basketball, and they just take that as an unwritten rule in rap that a lot of people say. You don't mention children,
which has been done,
right? And you don't mention, a sick person or a person that died or on their deathbed.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think it all depends, man. I mean, because 50, right on what's the song? Back Down. He said,
I don't
your
think
wife,
kids are off limits.
Your dirty ass kid, I fucking erase him. He said that in that song.
Yeah, but Fifth don't play by the rules anyway. But
yeah, Fifth don't play by the rules.
Don't care about rules.
But I don't know. I personally don't know about it being rules in this thing. But if that's what he feels, if he's gonna say that he's a historian and he studies rap battles, there's been a lot of people that's broken those rules. Then I don't know about the rule as far as death. Maybe no one's really mentioned that. You know what I mean? I get what he's saying about that. Like I can't remember off the top of my head anybody ever mentioning something about that or someone whose mother
sick.
died or
I don't
think anybody ever or someone's friend who
I'm
died.
not saying it hasn't been done.
Only thing I have heard mentioned is stuff like someone did say something about like with the Lost Boys or with you the reason why so and so is dead or something. Right. That's been mentioned.
Right.
So
something like
fine,
that, but that's not really the same thing.
Right, because they're already dead. But
you could say something, or if he
says
says
something,
something,
basically blaming that person for someone in their clique.
If he said something like, why don't you pay for these bills or something like that?
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Or
he probably does pay for it.
Right. You the reason why 40 got MS. Or if he said something like that.
Right.
But
or if he maybe criticized him for dragging him all over the place, meanwhile he's sick.
Putting it on him.
But
your boy's sick, but you dragging him out to Wyoming.
Yeah, I mean the way I didn't like the line when I first heard it.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's a little.
That's still the only line that bothers me.
I have no problem with everything
else.
Not to keep going back, but you gotta take the big. Big ones to use as an example. So like when I first heard Super Ugly, I was like, ooh. You know what I mean? I was like, that's a little they left condoms in your baby seat.
Why now you taking it out on the kid?
That was not all. It was disgusting. Top, but
I
on top of that,
I didn't mind
like,
what he said about the baby mama.
Yeah,
I guess you were sucking my dick when you were kissing that bitch.
Yeah.
I didn't mind.
I didn't care about that. That was a cool line, actually. Yeah. It was a dope line. But so with this case, when I heard that, that tick tick tick, he's 666, I was just like, ooh, that was raw. Like, and what does that have to do with Drake? You know what I mean? Like, he did it obviously because he knew that was a soft spot. Like I said, I am not. Pusha did what I think you're supposed to do. Because if you're trying to hit him, you want to hit him hard. And let's be honest, Pusha T, if you're Pusha T, you want Drake to respond. Because it keeps the back and forth going. It helps your career. So you got to hit him where it hurts. You got to hit him where it hurts. So he's gonna respond. Right. So it probably hurts him more to not respond than anything.
It hurt Pusha probably more to respond because as you can see, Scorpion went through the roof when it came out. It ended up and again on the rest of that interview that he said something along the lines of he only had Scorpion about 60% done, and then after this happened, that helped him finish Scorpion because he had to add some songs, and I'm sure he added some of the Kanye songs that probably were not there originally. So that's a good point. I think him not responding was a way to actually hurt Pusha as well. Yeah, because unless you were around 3 months ago. Yeah. Nobody's talking about the story of Adion anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's not like these were two powerhouse. It's not like Kanye was battling him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if Kanye would have came straight at Drake, now we're talking about it longer because you got two brands going at each other. That was, that was Nas and Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? That was Ja Rule and 50. Two brands going at each other.
Two guys at the top.
Two guys at the top of their game at that time. Pusha T, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the other cats going at these bigger brands, it's just not, even though he won. He won the battle.
Lyrically.
But hell, there's a lot of people that say that Cannabis won the battle. Because he
some
lyrically
people say
better.
Kumo D.
Some people say
lyrically
Kumo D
better than LL.
But I mean, whatever. I mean, the bottom line is, now what I want to say before we, in the show is, what about the whole situation of Kanye manipulating from the beginning, inviting him out to Wyoming?
Right.
Where are you? Why are you doing in Wyoming? That's the first thing I want to know. I mean, God knows what he's doing in Wyoming.
Right.
But the bottom line is, he invites him out. They talk, they chop it up. They
didn't pay him.
Drake thinks this is now, being that you're not paying me. This is like a thing. It's more like a chill session. Right. Creatively,
you give me some beats.
I'll give you some lyrics. You give me some beats. We go from there. Okay. And then for him to turn that around, like, that was like manipulated from the beginning. And like, he really is on some. I hate to mention it, but he really is on some Donald Trump ish. You know what I mean? But meaning not to be mentioned in Trump, but that is like a real strategic, dirty business move almost. You know what I'm saying? Like
some
real fuck shit.
That's some fuck shit.
But I don't know. Like, what was he on when he did that? Like, what's wrong with this dude, man? Like, how you did? So now that's the thing. We all know, and of course, most of the people probably won't care if Drake talks about the Kardashians. Everybody else does anyway.
They want them to do that.
They want him to do that. But the point is, if Drake, Drake got a lot of dirt on Kanye.
Right,
as far
as that
does.
family goes, and
you know what I'm saying, and that's why he. You, not to cut you off, but that's why he addressed that too. Because when he said, when Push talking about, don't go at Kanye. No, I'm going at Kanye because this is the reason why we're here.
Right.
Kanye's the reason why we're here. So I agree. Like I said, man, I think he's just. What do you think about that? I think it's.
Man, that's a good point. Like, when you think about it, I think Drake had the appropriate word, dark.
That was dark.
I mean, you bring me out here. I got 40 out here. Still got to keep going back to 40.
Right.
I got 40 out here.
So,
we're out in Wyoming. First of all, Drake's probably like, why are we out here? Like, you live in Calabasas.
Yeah.
Right? You got a studio in Calabasas. Why Wyoming of all places are we here? Right? So then, as you said, you didn't pay me for it. You're telling me that you want to do some things and give you some beats, but I have to be transparent with you. And tell you your everything and Drake and I have to put this on Drake, and Drake should know better at this point in the game. Drake knows everybody's trying to get him the fuck out of here.
Here's the irony behind it. If you listen to Light Up, Jay-Z warned him in the song. This is how they gonna come at you. With fake, trying favors, disguise as favors. Barzini, watch for the traitors. I mean,
he told him what was going to happen. It happened with Meek.
Jay set him up. Jay warned them.
Once it happened with Meek.
Yep, he should have.
Drake and Drake did an interview and basically said, "Okay, now I know what it is in this industry.
Yep.
No, I really don't have any friends. And at that point in time, he wasn't fucking with Kanye.
No,
because Kanye came on the stage and said, Drake getting all the airplay and this that. At that point, he should have knew that you can't trust Kanye.
Here's another question before I get to our question of the day. Is actually, are we finally done with Kanye behind this? Like, if you listen to the story, now I know why Drake is done. But the point I wanted to bring up is now I understand why Drake isn't addressing that situation with his wife. when they're saying, "Oh,
Why
is that-
should he?
Why should he? Why should I
Why should he?
respect you? Only because you have a relationship with her family,
Right.
But other than that, if I'm only doing this because if I'm Drake, I'm like, look,
You didn't care
I'm
that
only
he brought up my
clarifying
family.
this, right? I'm only clarifying this because I have respect for Kris. I have respect for her side of the family, So I'll clarify.
I
for
could
that.
see him doing
I
it
could
and
see him
saying, because I have a good relationship with Kris, and she came to me and said, "Well, can I please clear it up?" That's
Yeah.
the only reason that
But
I'm
if they
clearing
don't
up.
ask, he's not gonna clear it up.
Now, before that, and that's a great point. Before that, I was saying, hey, Drake has a relationship with Kendall and with Kris. Why isn't he addressing this? Now that you hear the story, you didn't give a shit that your boy was talking about my family.
Mm-hmm.
You did the beat and co-signed and gave him all this private information
Yep.
that you knew was coming with my rollout. Kanye knew that he was going to mention his son. He told everyone in that clip, which once you see the show The Shop, you'll see. He played March 14th, which is the song Drake had on Scorpion about his son.
Yeah.
So he played that record for Kanye.
Yeah.
So when Kanye stepped forward and tried to convince everybody that he never told Pusha, of course you told Pusha.
Of course you told
You're
him.
the only one who knew this information.
Yeah.
So when you think of it from that standpoint,
Yeah.
I wouldn't address it either. Let everybody, even if
'Cause you just
I
ruined-
didn't smash
you
your
talking about
wife,
stopping
let
bags.
everybody think I did.
That's the ultimate bag stopping because you
With
just
Adidas,
ruined,
you ruined
just
his
ruined
old
deal.
Adidas deal.
You ruined the deal. So I mean, and that's no one knew about that deal.
Nope.
So you ruined the deal. How's Pusha T of all people just gonna pop up and know about this
Because
deal
Kanye's on
that Drake
Adidas,
got?
so
Yeah.
he knew that Drake had an Adidas rollout coming,
Yep.
and he knew that his line was called Adidon. You know,
Right.
it was his son is named Adonis, and it's Adidas and Adonis mixed. So that was going to be as well. He was going to introduce his son during that Adidas rollout and let everybody know he had a kid because March 14th. The Scorpion was dropping, and then the Adidas rollout was supposed to come right after that.
Yeah.
So Kanye,
Dirty.
ironically, cost Drake millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, thinking of it that way, I wouldn't respond either if I was
Wouldn't
Drake.
respond
Now,
either.
I take back everything that I said.
Right.
You know,
About
I
not
wouldn't respond.
responding.
And like you said, unless Kris Jenner or he has enough respect for Kim or whatever, he probably won't for Kim
Yeah.
because Kim's married to Kanye.
Kanye's married
She
to Kanye,
is
yeah.
going to fall on her as well.
Yep.
Kim's married to Kanye. So unless Kris says, "Hey, look, can
I
you
need you to address this. Yeah.
And
Other
then-
than that, I wouldn't either. I
Right,
wouldn't
and
address
if
it.
Kris asks him to do it, and they're close, and he doesn't do it, maybe he really did smash her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe he did. You know what I mean?
possible.
I personally don't think he did, but maybe he did. But
you gotta understand. But
I wouldn't
that,
address
I
it
think
either.
that whole thing goes way deeper. It's a whole deeper conversation, man. These celebrities in this business are smashing each other's wives willingly. Some of them are are sharing wives, and
Yep.
and they're getting freaky, and it gets crazy. This business is crazy. People don't understand how crazy this business is.
They don't, man.
There are so many rumors, not just rumors, but so many people that we know and people that you come across
Lend their
that
wives
lend
out,
their wives
you know.
out, and this, that, and the other. Trust me, dude, it goes deeper. So if it did happen, definitely not impossible. Wouldn't surprise me. But at the same time, I don't think it happened. But I'm just saying
Right.
it wouldn't surprise. Nothing surprises
would
me.
not surprise me about that.
So the
dude.
question, the final question of the day. This is for you out there as well. Given this, let's just give even half this story being true. Everything else has been going on with Kanye as of late. Is it time to put Kanye to bed? Is this
finally?
Are we
you
done
guys
with Kanye? I'm gonna
finally
answer the question,
done
but we
Kanye?
want you to answer the question in the comments below. Are you done with Kanye West? And what could Kanye do to get back into everyone's good graces?
Right.
I'm gonna answer the question myself. Not based on all of this stuff because I'm not in the
Right.
middle of it.
Let,
I don't know
let,
him.
I don't mean to cut you off. Let us know in the comments below if you are done with him. Was it this that pushed you over the edge? You know, a lot of people don't like Drake anyway. Right. Was it this to push you over the edge? Was it the whole Trump
White
thing?
House visit.
Yeah, let us know why you're done with Kanye if you are. I'm sorry. I got to add this question. It may seem funny, but no one has really answered it. Everyone's thrown out, oh, he's in a sunken place. Oh, it's the Kardashian fault. Oh, he's crazy. Oh, it's a clone. What is wrong with Kanye? What happened to Kanye West? I mean, that's a serious question. I want people to answer that as well. What happened to Kanye West?
If you even look at the pictures we got scrolling, you can see the difference in his face. His facial expressions.
And that I do believe is MK Ultra. I'm a strong believer that MK Ultra exists because too many people have said it.
Yeah.
So I believe that.
Look at that.
Look at these pictures. They're not that long ago.
Yeah, and not that long ago. And then you look at the ones where he's got the hat on.
His
and
face
the other
is like deformed. Like he doesn't even look like the same
right
person.
there. Look at it.
He look like the same person. You know, so I believe a lot has to do with MK.
And that's
Ultra
why I
and the
mean by
stuff
he is talking
in this
crazy.
business.
I think he's been, they've been tampering with his mind. Yeah. And I mean, whatever the case may be, he's got himself
he's on
in
meds,
that position.
and they already admitted he's on meds, and he's off his meds again.
Yeah.
He refuses to take his meds because he feels as though the meds make him worse. I don't know how much worse you can get than this, brother.
Let's hear what you guys got to say. Make your comments below. Tell us why, if you're done with Kanye, why you're done with him. If you're not, tell us why you're not. Do you believe Drake's story? Do you believe, that Kanye did what he did? Go and watch the show. It's called The Shop, right?
Shop, yeah.
So on HBO, you can watch it on YouTube. LeBron James doing big things since he's come to LA.
Come to LA.
All right.
All we need is that title.
All right. He's doing his thing. So, I mean, I think I'm pretty much done with talking about Kanye. We talked about it last time. I said that he's never changed as far as him being arrogant. That's part of his personality. That's never going to change. Arrogance, obnoxious, that's not going to change. Right. He's always been that way. But what has changed about him is just his overall demeanor on, as far as his attitude. He's trying to disguise with the love thing. Oh, it's all about love. But is that all about love? Taking and manipulating your so-called brother in the game?
Texting him and saying, I love you, brother.
Right before this thing comes out, you text him and say, I love you, brother. I mean, that's passive-aggressive bullshit. Like, really? So, comment below. Let's hear your thoughts. We're going to come back next show. Check us out, Fairly Speaking.
Fairly Speaking,
We're going to bring it like this, man. Every time.
Fairly Speaking, every week. You're gonna get unbiased, just straight opinion and editorial, man. And your boy Heaven Clark.
Wes Clark here. Thanks again.
See y'all next time, man.
Peace.
Like, comment, and subscribe.